You're playing the Empire here in Belfast tonight, which is a pretty famous venue in this city. I remember you telling me at C2C in Dublin last year that it was off the back of watching the film P.S. I Love You that first made you want to come to Ireland, and you played Whelan's in Dublin. And off the back of that experience, you obviously wrote 25 Wexford Street with Chris DiStefano and Jim Beavers. People like Kip Moore, right? They've been very honest in talking about the fact that the modern American country sound has really exploded over here over the past sort of 4 to 5 years. The people who show consistency in coming over and touring and building the fan base, eventually it really starts to pay off. But then there's that initial sort of financial risk to it too. What is it about even those early shows that made you want to, you saw the foundation and you wanted to build upon it?
I've been kind of used to the fact of losing money to do music, and that's fine with me. Hopefully not forever, obviously, over here. But it's not about that for me. It's about the opportunity to play these songs like across the world. You know, I had an artist, a huge artist, tell me one time I was crazy for coming over here. I said, I don't think so, man. For me, I love seeing the world. I love traveling, and it's clearly a whole different fan base over here that wants to hear my music. So it's like, let's go give it to them. And we're going to keep coming back as long as people keep showing up. And this time is the time I've really noticed it the most. We played twice with just me and a guitar. We played C2C. And then this time it's like, whoa. It's the first time we brought the band over for our headlining shows. And then it's paying off big time. The generation before us of musicians, I think, is in a unique position because they didn't grow up coming here. We're in a position where, when I say we, I mean my generation of people, you know, Kip Moores of the world, Thomas Rhett's, FGL, stuff like that. It's like, man, you can come over here early in your career and build it from the ground up, just like I did it over there. Yeah. And it's not like for me, I'm not into arenas yet over there. So, hell, we could get into arenas here before we ever get into them in the States, which, if I have the opportunity to do that, it'd be crazy not to.
Talking about, you know, your career going from strength to strength, obviously last year you achieved your first #1 with Eyes on You. Again, another song you co-wrote with Chris DiStefano and Ashley Gorley. It's interesting that, like, you released your first single, Buzzback, back in 2010, and you know, along the way you've achieved big hits with, like, you know, Ready, Set, Roll and Gonna Want It Tonight. But it's interesting that, like, sort of 10 years into it, you're now describing this era as almost like the beginning of your career.
I think back then I was just writing songs and putting them out just to see what worked. Because I didn't know. I mean, I was so new to it. So now I look at it, I'm like, I'm not just putting out anything to see if it works. I'm putting out stuff very strategically and I put a lot of thought into this to try to figure out, all right, what's the best 7 songs for the album part 1, for example, to tell this first part of this next record. And to me, the level of songwriting, the level of singing, the level of producing, everything is just taking a huge step up from even the Lambs and Lions album. But then I look at the Ignite the Night album before that, which is insane to say because the Ignite the Night album was platinum. It was a big album. But it's got like 19 songs on it. I would have probably made it 13 max. There's a lot of songs I've put out that I'm like, why did I ever even put that out? And you learn as you go. So there's no more of that. There's not going to be very many songs that I ever put out again where I'm like, why did I put that out? Because I think I've just figured out who I am as an artist and what I want to say and how I want to say it. I just think that everything I'm putting out from Eyes on You on, and really 3 Chords and the Truth on, is going to be the most me version of me you've ever heard. And I think that's going to be very clear with these songs once you hear them. I mean, from Lonely If You Are, that's the first single off of the album part 1. Yeah. To another song called Messy, which is it's a kind of just me and a picking guitar, and then it gets a cool little drum piece going in the second verse, and it tells a story about, you know, I'll take the messy. There's a song called Forever to Go that's basically about, you know, a couple they got another year down, but they still got forever to go. There's just a lot more longevity, I'd say, in these songs of how often you want to keep hearing them. Because, I mean, I've lived with these songs for a bit, and I still want to keep hearing them. I'm most excited. I'm the most excited I've ever been to put out this music because, to me, I think it's the best I've ever done.
Because it does seem to be the trend these days where artists take an album, split it in 2 and put out 2 EPs. Some artists these days are even just focusing purely on singles. Why split it into 2? Is it with the changing way people consume music and the attention span of the audience?
Yeah, to me, I love these songs so much I'm not going to waste them. If everybody's attention span is smaller these days because of how we put music out and it's so digital and people don't really listen to records anymore, you know, you used to get in your car, put the CD in. Now people don't do that. And that's fine. That's just the way of the world, and you got to adjust. And to me, to respect the songs the most, you got to put them out smaller batches at a time, so people give people opportunity to hear all the songs. When I buy an album now, it's like I don't even buy an album anymore half the time because, yeah, I mean, it's like people don't have the attention span anymore. So it's all right. We're gonna give it smaller at a time so they can focus on just these 7. 7's actually a lot. It might be the last time in a long time that I actually put out that many songs at one time. So I know the album part 2 is probably not going to be 7 songs. It's only going to be a few. And then the album part 3, if that's what we're going to call it, we're not sure yet. But eventually this is all going to make one album called The Album.
Okay. Again, talking about the times changing and people's taste in music becoming a bit more eclectic, and because, you know, you have a lot of country artists these days stepping out of the format and collaborating with artists from different genres. Who is it that you'd really like to work with, maybe outside of country?
Oh, man. I mean, I like Ed Sheeran a lot. I think I respect his songwriting. I know he's the most probably mainstream star on the planet right now. But I just think he's that good. I like Halsey. I think Halsey's amazing. And if we're talking, you know, dreams come true type thing, throw Eminem in there. Come on. Eminem's like, I don't know if he's put an album out forever, but I mean, you listen to his lyrics, nobody beats that.
This European tour kind of finishes up with some acoustic shows in Germany and the Netherlands, and then come April time you're touring the US with Brantley Gilbert. I saw last November you were on his Kick It in the Ship cruise. I was kind of following this on social media. I know there was like Lanco, Diamond Rio, Danielle Bradbury, Tyler Farr on it. Is it just like a couple of days of absolute party-fueled drinking?
For me it was. Yeah, I mean, for everybody, it wasn't. You know, Brantley obviously didn't drink. He doesn't drink anymore. But we had the easiest schedule of anybody, which is probably why it lended to us partying so much. Yeah. Because we had a show the first night, and then we had a show the second night, and then we were done. It was just like, oh, my God. Now we just get 2.5 days on this ship just to hang out. Nothing better to do. Might as well drink. So, yeah, I was partying. I was partying hard, and that's the way my mindset was for that one. I don't always have that mindset, obviously. It's a job, and you got to make sure people have a great show. But yeah, I mean, that was a blast for me.
I noticed straight after the cruise, you ended up in London, and then you were in Liverpool at a Man City game.
Yeah. I went. Yeah, that's what a lot of people on that ship were like. Wait a minute, you're doing what? Because they saw how hard I partied. I went straight from Miami to London, tubed over to Liverpool for the Man City Liverpool game because I'm a huge Man City fan. 6-1 today against Aston Villa. Just throw that in there. We're back on track. But yeah, man, it's just that was my opportunity to go to the Man City, the 2 best teams in the world. Liverpool put a whipping on us, but that's all right. They're having kind of out of this world season. But I love it over here. I mean, people are like, you actually like it over here? I'm like, I go over there during my spare time. Yeah, I do.
Wow, that's cool. As an American, is it a bit shocking at first when you go to a UK football game and you take in the level of abuse the fans hurl at the players?
I saw hate in Anfield for anybody in red wearing anything in blue, and I was decked out in blue. So there's a level of hate and obsession that I don't know if we have over in the States, which is why I love it.
And finally, and I apologise, you've probably been asked this 100,000 times, but a lot of people over here won't be aware, and should be, that you were one of the writers on Florida Georgia Line's cruise. So you wrote that with Brian and Tyler, Joey Moy and Jesse Rice. It had such a substantial, significant impact on the modern country sound. Talk to me about, like, what impact did that then have on your life, the success of it?
You never have to apologize for that. That song changed my life. It allowed me to, buy the farm that I have in Tennessee now that I still live on. And it mainly allowed me to know that I could stay in town and keep writing, because at some point you got to go get a real job. And I didn't have to do that. I was able to just, at that point, become a professional songwriter and really focus on that. And then at the same time, you're part of country music history. That's a big deal. And it's an honor to be a part of that. So that song changed my life. It changed country music's dynamic and where country music's gone. It's been a huge part of country music, love it or hate it. And the side of it that I'm on, I love it.
J.S. Rice, thank you very much. I mean, I just can't believe you're here in Belfast tonight. I know the people are so psyched. The place is bonged and continued success, and we can't wait to hear the new EP.
That's crazy how music's being put out these days. But the album part 1 comes out soon, and we're actually going to be here while it comes out. It'll be my first time ever releasing an album or music, period, while I've been not in America. So I love it over here. We'll keep coming back, and that's the biggest thing for me, man. We've built this thing. I've never played Belfast. I've played Dublin. But we're building this thing into something pretty legit. So, next time, tell somebody to bring some friends, and let's pack out an even bigger room and keep growing this thing.